Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for sticking in with us. I told you you were going to enjoy that. Dean is a great singer-songwriter, community guy, and he does all kinds of, well, you know what? I think I'm going to let him explain it to you himself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to reintroduce old friend Dean. Hello, sir.
Hi, Glenn.
How are you? Welcome back, Kelly. Thank you.
Great.
How's everything? You've been on before a bunch of years ago now.
It might have been like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it could be 10 years.
Yeah, imagine that.
No, it's scary, isn't it?
It is, especially for these young'uns, you know? It's like these guys, last time I was on,
These guys were
Kelly
in grammar
was
school.
like 10.
I wish.
But time goes on, and I'm doing great. I'm just back from
You just
a trip.
got home. Yeah, where were you visiting?
I was in El Salvador.
Okay.
I go there every 6 months.
Okay.
Wow.
I've been doing that for 27 years, since 1991. I took 2 years off for when my kid was a baby, and then I resumed. My wife let me continue.
What is
and
the
I
mission? What is the mission?
I take groups. We visit villages, four remote villages in a province called Chalatenango on the northern border with Honduras. And it started as an effort to accompany and help in the repopulation and reconstruction of villages destroyed during the war in El Salvador.
Yep.
And it became just a rural friendship and development project that is spearheaded by El Salvador sister city groups, of which there are many. There's 4 very active ones in Boston, and there's some churches that I work with too that have friendships that send travelers, and we meet with leadership in these villages. Yeah. We meet with women's organizations. We meet with students, some of whom are on scholarship in these villages. I've just some really cool stuff, and we have meals with people in people's homes.
Yeah. What is the state of El Salvador in the villages that you've been visiting? How are they doing?
Well, these villages are pretty awesome.
They're not new.
Examples of organizational power. They are really well organized because they were together during the war in exile in the hills under bombs falling on them and guns being shot at them, and
Whole
they
families.
become.
We're not talking about armies against armies here, are we?
We're talking about armies against people.
People.
Yeah.
Families.
It was a whole area that was deemed to be a conflictive zone where there were guerrillas hiding, and what it meant, the tactic was kind of like in Vietnam. It was like anything that moves in that area is fair game, and it created a huge refugee crisis, and it killed a lot of people and their livelihoods, and that was in the early '80s, you know, and now it's a whole different reality. El Salvador is a country full of some problems that are left over from the war, but also other problems. But it's also a vibrant place. These villages are remote and a little bit removed from some of the problems in the cities that you hear about, and they're really peaceful, gorgeous places. Subsistence farming, and the beginnings of a coffee economy,
right.
And
do we have a population?
Education.
Do we have a population of El Salvadorans here in Boston?
Yes.
Yeah.
East Boston, Everett, Somerville, and I know a bunch of them. Some of them come from the villages that I visit in El Salvador.
That must be amazing.
And yeah, and some of them.
Do they ever say hi to Aunt Claire when you're down there?
I take encarguitos, which is, Dean, will you send me take a pair of shoes to my brother?
Yeah.
Dean, will you take a box of chocolates to my mom? A lot of that, and I'm glad to do that. And I also bring back things from down there for the people here.
That's amazing.
And it's amazing because the people here that I know cannot travel to El Salvador, either because they are TPS, which we've been hearing about lately a lot,
Yeah.
temporary protected status, and this White House has just declared that
They won't let them back in.
that they are to leave by November 2019, and it's a shameful thing. It kind of feels like if it really happens, and I swear over my dead body it's not going to happen, because these are people who've been here for decades, who have businesses, who have employees, who have jobs, who work in all kinds of levels of work here.
this is-
TPS, and then there's undocumented people.
Right.
Most of those who I know are them, and that's an even more difficult, vulnerable position to be in.
Well, you must know you find yourself not alone in this fight.
I think that there's a movement
Yeah.
to change
It's huge.
immigration,
It's huge.
and really recognize that those are the best Americans there are.
Yeah.
And they work way harder than you and I do.
Right.
And they take care of their families, and they are to be put up to what U.S. should be about.
Well, what we say we are.
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
we say
what we say we are, and what
unless
we are
we're in the White
sometimes-
House.
Sometimes is different. You
Yeah.
you went past it kind of quickly when you talked about a coffee economy.
Yeah.
What is this something that's been growing for
Well,
literally?
this region,
Sorry.
El Salvador produces quite a bit of coffee, but this region where I go is not a huge coffee production area, but it should be, because they produce a very delicious coffee. They have a microclimate, and it's high altitude.
Yeah.
5,000 feet is this one village that I go to where I actually have developed an importing business. I bring a couple of tons of coffee a year from
Yes.
a town called Isotalillo.
I have some at my house.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have some at my school.
I would have brought a bag, but I'm not supposed to be shamelessly
No, you leave that to
selling
me.
stuff.
That's
Yeah, yeah. But it's a tiny village, 70 people, maybe 6 coffee producers, and I started bringing quantities of coffee from there about 5 years ago.
It's great. And you move that coffee at the farmers market. But one of the other things that you do to bring awareness and to do some fun things and to bring support is you have different concerts and stuff. Can you talk? We're running out, but maybe if I hold this up here, maybe we can get a shot
This
of this.
is a concert at my church. It's called Community Church of Boston. It's right in Copley Square. And it's a peace and justice community since 1920. We have a young songwriter named Lizzie No. Nobody's ever heard of her, but she sounds just great. Look her up on YouTube and Bandcamp. And this is a whole concert of young'uns. There's also Katie Jones, who's a Boston songwriter, lovely new voice.
Yeah.
And Magnus Ferguson from the group Morningsiders just moved up from
Know them.
New York.
Know them.
That's February 24th.
We can't say how much it costs. We can tell them that
No.
the website to go to is communitychurchofboston.org.
Yes.
Is where you would go to get more information. And what is this? What is this? Trimble concert.
These are the last 3 concerts from Tremedal Concerts. It's a series that's hosted and sponsored by the Watertown El Salvador Sister City Committee, which raises funds for scholarships for young people in our sister community that's called Nueva Esperanza. And we do these concerts. Some pretty well-known performers, Don White, Maria Sangiolo, used to live in Boston, now lives in Connecticut. We have Cindy Callett and Gray Larson,
the Kennedys.
fabulous, and the Kennedys.
Yeah.
This is our spring concerts.
awesome.
Will you be playing?
Maybe
Or are you going to be sitting at the door selling
Maybe.
coffee?
I'll be doing sound
Okay.
and emceeing, and maybe get up and sing one song.
You know, that whole sound and emceeing is a very important job.
You know about that, don't you?
I certainly do.
Oh,
How
yeah.
can people get in touch with you, Dean? Do you have a website people can go to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called deanstevens.com.
I don't know
And
how you
it's-
keep getting these great websites.
It's very easy to find. And I've got a email address, dean@deanstevens.com, Stevens with a V. And I be in touch. All kinds of stuff
I
going
love
on.
your shirt.
Thank you.
Yes,
this
that
is
shirt's awesome.
embroidered by Hilda.
Oh.
She's in a village called El Higueral. I go to Boomerangs and I buy solid color shirts.
And
I buy
send them to her.
suitcase full. I bring them to her. She embroiders them. I
amazing.
keep the best ones for myself. I give a few away. I'll slip one on you one of
you're
these
the-
days.
You're the best.
And I sell a few.
Dean, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for being here with us. I know how busy you are and how many things you're doing, and I every now and then, and I said, I'm going to ask. I said, can we get you on the show? And you were so gracious to say yes. I appreciate it, because I know you were traveling and you were getting ready to go. And I said, well, when you get back? And you said yes. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited to be here. I do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I call myself a jerk of all trades.
And a good one at that.
Thank you, Glenn.
Kelly, thank you very much again,
you.
kiddo.
Kelly, great being
Listen,
with you.
gang,
Great
thanks an
being with
awful
you.
lot for being here. Say goodbye with us. Okay. Listen, gang. Thank you very much for being here. Listen, get out there and do something artful for yourself, please. And like I like to say every week, please keep in the forefront of your minds. Our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Remember everybody and everywhere. We will dig you next time. Dean, thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.
We'll see you later, guys.
Kelly.
Bye-bye.